Hey, Terracer here with a quick analysis of Samsung Blue's team fight. And for some context of what this match is, it's Samsung Blue in the semifinal series of OGN against Samsung White, their sister team. And Samsung Blue actually took the first game when White was actually in the lead because they had a later scaling team comp. So anyways, when we get into this fight, Samsung Blue is actually ahead in global gold because they took early dragons and they've just been CSing a little better and have a little better rotations. So Samsung White right now is on the dragon and Samsung Blue is going to be poking them out, and White will eventually get the dragon but at a very dire cost. So you're going to see how this team fight unfolds. So you see them poke a little bit, and right here, this flank from Heart is super important. Heart gets a nice bind onto Looper. At the same time, Dandy goes in, and Mata gets a hook onto Spirit Spiderling, so that hook is down for the rest of the fight. Dandy's going to continue. He's going to smite the dragon. Looper is stunned right now, gets the black soil, which really isn't important. But right now you see Spirit, who's exerting this zone of pressure all around him. So Mata and Pawn have their focus kind of on Spirit right now, and Dandy isn't really doing much because he had just secured the dragon. So as this fight goes on, Def gets a crit onto Pawn, and Acorn's going to end up flash body slamming into Pawn, so this fight's going to become a 4v5. Dandy still isn't doing anything. Dandy right now is looking towards Def to try and jump on him. Dade is in the middle of the fight. He exerts a zone of influence like this because he just used his jump, so he's right now in alt range of Imp. But what's going to happen is Mata's going to exhaust him and place on a box over here to try to zone the rest of Samsung Blue from getting towards Imp. But because Pawn dies, Deft is going to have resets, and Deft also has his flash up to jump onto Imp and knock him backwards over this way, which is going to be very important. And the flash body slam by Acorn into here, which is going to be also super important. So Acorn flash body slams, Mata exhausts Dade, and Dade moves up over here. Imp is now forced to move all the way back this way, and Looper can't move at all because he's binded right now, and that bind lasts for a really long time. So Pawn dies instantly, and Def now has resets and the jumps to go over this way. Spirit is going to end up walking into Dandy and 1v1 him and zone Dandy off from jumping onto Deft. So as this fight goes on, bam, Mata lays down the box, Dade gets exhausted. Dade and Deft are going to end up killing Mata while Imp is putting out DPS onto Dade, DPS onto Deft. And Heart is going to walk up with his black shield and just get a super nice double Morgana ult because Acorn throws a cask, which is going to knock Looper and Imp into him. Like, this cask was super good. So there we go. Imp gets exhausted. Mata is about to die right here. Spirit and Dandy are still 1v1ing. Deft is putting out DPS onto Mata. And then Looper takes some extra DPS. And bam. Mata gets bursted. Dandy and Spirit are still fighting over here. Acorn moves into Looper to try and force him up over here, or to at least burn a summoner. And what ends up happening is Looper's going to flash away and ult and shield Imp. So Looper pretty much has nothing for the rest of this fight. Deft is going to jump over here and knock Imp backwards into Heart so that the Morg ult goes off on two people. So this is so next level. They're pretty much keeping Imp and Looper in range for Heart's ultimate without having technically Heart CC. So bam, Looper flashes and he's still in range for Morgana ult. Deft is going to go over here and knock Imp backwards, and then Heart's going to move backwards to get the soul shackles on both of them. Dade kills Mata over here. Dade is going to move in and start trying to fight Imp. Dandy is going to kill Spirit, and Acorn is going to jump onto Dandy and kill Dandy to finish up the ace. So Imp gets knocked back. Imp dies to Dade's passive. Dade ends up cleaning up over here on Looper because Looper has nothing left and he's still binded and soul shackled. And Acorn goes in onto Dandy and kills him with his huge burst because Gracchus is pretty stupid at this patch. But Samsung Blue is just super good at team fights and their coordination. Every person had a role in that fight, and they just picked apart Samsung White, even though Samsung White is technically the more mechanically better team. And also for this fight, Samsung White barely had their summoners up. The only person who had flashed away was actually Looper. Everyone else on Samsung White had their flashes burned from previous engagements and previous plays that Samsung Blue had played around the map. So Samsung Blue really plays well with knowing the opponent's cooldowns and managing them. And Samsung Blue is just super scary. So people at Worlds are going to have a pretty tough team to look out for. And I think, in my opinion, the only people who are going to compete with Samsung Blue in the teamfight area is the Chinese, but that's another point. Thanks for watching.